Okay, this piece right here. It's called Rule 30. Give me one quick second here. So others have attempted to explain this anomaly of our existence. I'm going to start off here, and whether we have a purpose. And what was developed is a model called Rule 30. And how this model works is basically you set up a one-dimensional array, or like a grid, and then you basically replicate the shape, or you replicate the color that is adjacent to the first shape inside the grid. So to make this very simple, what has been proven is that life is actually not complex at all. It's actually very simple. And because it's very simple, it actually produces something very complex that it's proven now within the design, the fabric, and the framework of how the entire reality is constructed, that the simple produces the complex and not vice versa. So we should see then the simple as the higher intelligence. I'll say that again. We should see the simple as the higher intelligence, because the simple is basically the master code. And what this master code is about is just saying that if you did something as simple as creating in the same pattern that nature creates in, which they've seen on a cellular level, what it will produce is it will produce these anomalies where you would have this infinite amount of unique designs that would never repeat themselves. And they say they run these models in computers, and they run on quantum systems, and then mathematicians try to find where the loop is in this code. And in the Rule 30, they're even giving out money for anybody who can find it. But of course, they know that no one is going to find it, because what it is it's proof that the simple creates the complex, and that to deploy a reality like this, you only start off with the simple pattern like you're seeing in phi. That's another, Rule 30 is a mathematical variable of phi. It's showing that if you just use this very simple rule, you'll get something complex. So if the rule is just keep adding the number to the number that appears before it, and then try to draw that out as a pattern, you're going to be able to do that infinitely and keep having different patterns and more creations. So when you look at our existence and you look at our world, you can see clearly that Rule 30 is basically playing out here, and that is the purpose. It's for, and you can't, this is why it always eludes everyone about what the purpose is, because every single thing that's created inside of this is unique. So that automatically makes us feel like, well, everybody then has a unique purpose. But it's not the uniqueness that is needed to confirm the originator's goal. You see what I mean? So one kind of comes before the other. So I just kind of want to desist here for a moment, because, I feel like, I just want to zoom into the specifics on this, because I don't want to get lost, or anybody lost in all this. It's just the simple awareness that as we get closer and closer to who we really are, things will become more and more simple. The brain, or the respective hemispheres of the brain, will always try to make things more and more complicated, or produce different scenarios, because that's their design. That's what they do. But in free will, you're not really paying attention to the next new thing that is being created within the uniqueness of the hemispheres of the mind. What you're actually doing is you're more of staying in a frequency to be able to dial into the higher purpose. So there's a lower purpose. It's like our base function is to continue our dualistic wheel turning in our consciousness, which creates uniqueness. It's combustion, it's conflict, it's intimacy, right? And then the birth from intimacy. But there's another floating point here. And that floating point is in the center of your consciousness. And it actually gives you the ability to disengage something without even it knowing that you've disengaged. So that way you can discover a centered and connected higher self.
All is found in those.
It's just, you see what I mean? So every moment you're teaching yourself.
Thank you, family.
Thank you, Sevan and everyone.